Hello students, so this is the next exercise, exercise 8B. So the solutions to the questions that I asked you to try. So let's go. So here you're supposed to find the unknowns that's stated in the diagram, as that by having the fact that ABC triangle ABC is similar to triangle PQR, right? So what do we know? Right, so for similar triangles, right, what we know is that the corresponding angles are the same. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to tell, okay, what are the corresponding angles. So down here, okay, let's take a look. The first pair we have x degrees. X degrees is at the vertex Q. Okay, so if you look at this PQR ABC, so vertex Q actually corresponds to vertex B. Okay, so from here we know that x degrees corresponds to 90 degrees, so x is equals to 90. There we go. Okay, now next one, y degree. Okay, y degree is at vertex C. So if you look at our statement, C, okay, the point vertex C actually corresponds to vertex R. So vertex R is over here, and that's 35 degrees. That's why y is 35. Okay. Finally, z is at vertex P. So if you look at our statement, vertex P actually corresponds to vertex A. So vertex A is over here. Then wait a minute, I have no idea what vertex A is. Actually, uh, don't be too hasty, right? Because if you look at triangle PQR, we have already obtained the angle, two of the three angles, right? So once we have that, actually using angles of triangle, we can get angle Z. We don't really always need to go back to the corresponding, but no harm checking, right? If the numbers are there, it's fine. Okay, for part B, let's repeat the same process. So x degrees is actually at vertex R. So vertex R corresponds to vertex C, and vertex C is well, down here is 28 degrees. So x is 28. That's good, right? Now y, right? So y degrees is at vertex A. So vertex A corresponds to vertex P. Again, it's not here, but actually we already know the other two degrees in this triangle PQR. So we just use angle side of triangle. We find that angle QPR over here is going to be 34 degrees. That means y is actually 34. Okay. Now let's take a look at C. For C, this time around they want us to get the length, right? So what we know about similar triangle is that although the length is not the same, the ratio of the length must be the same. Okay, so here we compare ratio, right? So over here we have trying to find x is a qr, right? So qr, okay, looking at our statement again, qr is the second letter and the third letter. It will correspond to bc, second letter and third letter on this side. So qr over bc will be x over 12, right? Is going to be equals to let's look for another pair over here. We have 6 centimeter here. PQ we know, right? So PQ corresponds to AB. AB over here is 10. So 6 over 10. That's how we get x over 12 equals to 6 over 10, because the ratio must match. Therefore, x is 7.2. So we repeat the process now. YCM over here corresponds to 18 cm over here. So y over 18 is also 6 over 10, which is what we have already established at the beginning of tackling this part C. Okay, so y is equals to 10.8. So the same thing is going to happen for example D. Example D, we have YCM here corresponds to the 7 cm here. You just need to match up the vertex to figure out why this is so. And then we have the 10 cm will corresponds to the 12 cm here. XCM actually corresponds to the 8 cm over here, right? So we can actually say x over 8, so left hand side to right hand side, so x over 8 is actually 12 over 10, right? So we can establish that fact. So x is 9.6. Now if you go from right to left, so you got y over 7 is 10 over 12, so that's fine. We get 5 and 5 over 6. So again, this first question is really about making sure we understand the concept of corresponding. If we understand the concept of corresponding, this particular question shouldn't be too daunting and too frightening to you. Okay. Right. Second question. Second question wants us to test whether the triangles are similar. So to test whether they are similar, the most straightforward test is really to check the angle, right? So in this particular situation, we can actually first of all, okay, figure out what is angle QPR, right? QPR, because this is 50 degrees, it's an isosceles triangle, we can quite easily find that QPR is actually 80 degrees, right? 180 minus 50 twice, okay? And QPR corresponds to BAC. So BAC on the left hand side we can see is actually 40 degrees. Oh, 80 degrees, 40 degrees, they don't match up. They're supposed to correspond, but the angle is different. Therefore, not similar. Okay? Right, part B, we test one more pair of triangles. We have a DEF similar to STU. We're going to test it out. Okay, so same thing. Let's take a look. We can look at the DEF. Okay, this is the angle that we are missing because we look at this, we already know 84 degrees, we already know 32 degrees. So we can find DEF by using angle sum of triangle. Okay, and from here we work it out, it is 64. Okay, so once we have that,
Daddy.
yeah, okay, take a paper. Daddy teach mathematics. Okay, right. So we have DEF 64 degrees here, and then but using the idea of corresponding, we actually know all the angles on the right hand side as well and see if they match up, right? So DEF is, look at this, DEF should match up with STU, and is STU the same? Yes, STU also 64 degrees, okay? And then we can check the other one, DFE. DFE is 32 degrees. Does it match up with SUT, which it is supposed to match? Yeah, both is 32 degrees. Successful. We have a pair of corresponding angles that's the same. Therefore, triangle DEF is similar to triangle STU due to the AA test. AA test is the, we just need two angles, because if we have two angles, actually all three angles of a triangle is going to correspond properly, right? Okay, next question. Here we have two similar water bottle. So we have two water bottle. Of course, when it comes to water bottle, there's no angle, right? But similarity still works, because similarity doesn't just mean that the angle are the same. It also means that the ratio, the proportion is going to be the same. Okay, so we want to find the value of unknowns. You can see all the corresponding parts. So x, which is the height of the bottle, x over the height of the other bottle, the smaller bottle, x over 10 is going to be corresponding to the base, right? Because the ratio of the length, they are supposed to correspond. So 8 over 5. So we work it out, we can find that x is 16. Then we have y, which is the mouth, the width of the mouth of the bottle. So y over 3 is going to match up with 5 over 8. So we can find that y is actually 1 and 7 over 8 centimeter, right? So here we go. Similarity, right? Do we have another question for you to practice? Yes, I did. Okay, so this diagram this time round have involved both angle and length, right? But you get the right idea. So angle corresponds directly. The length doesn't exactly correspond, but the ratio of the length corresponds. Okay, so let's check it out. Over here, because they are similar, the angle should be the same. So x degree is the same as 100 degrees. X is 100. Okay. Now for the y here, y is of course not equals to 180, but let's check the ratio. So y over 180, right? Y over 180. Oh, sorry, this one, my cursor put at the wrong place. Y over 180 is going to correspond to the base of the house, right? The width of the house. So we have 180 over 120. You work it out, y is 270, right? And for z, which is the height, again, we use the proportion. So z, okay, over 150, which is the height of the house, excluding the roof, right, is also going to be same as the ratio of 120 to 180. Z is 100. Okay, so really for length, compare the ratio. For angle, they correspond directly for similar objects. Okay, here we are back to some geometrical shape that we are comfortable with, triangles. So here we are told that triangle PQR is similar to triangle BAR. Okay, is that fair? Right? Find the value of the unknown. So the value of unknown over here, first one, x degrees. X degrees is actually in this triangle over here, but in order to find this x, right, we need to find this angle here first. Okay, angle B, or rather angle ABR, because that will help us. We know the concept of angle sum of triangle. So angle ABR, right, is going to correspond to angle over here QPR, right? So ABR, okay, second letter, first letter, third letter. So second letter, first letter, third letter, QPR. It makes sense. And do we know QPR? Oh, we know it's 61. Therefore, this angle at ABR is going to be 61 degrees. So now we have two of the three angles. X can be quite easily found using angle sum of triangle. So we work it out. X is 67. Next, they want us to find the length y. So back to the same thing. When we want to find the length in a similarity type of question, we compare the ratio. So y over 14, because that's what it corresponds to, is going to be equals to 9 over 12, because 9 and 12 correspond, right? So line up the ratio, work it out. Y is 10.5. Alright, so that's the solution to the questions I asked you to try. Hope you have been successful. Have a nice day.